So let's continue working with understanding the interface of Photoshop. Over on the left, we have our toolbar, all right? And it is actually possible to customize the toolbar, but you don't need to worry about customizing anything when you're a beginner because you don't know enough about what you're doing to have a concern. So if you click this little tab here at the bottom, you can actually edit the toolbar and change the configuration of the tools. But for the most part, you really don't need to worry about that as a beginner. And what we'll do is we'll go through and I'm going to explain to you what each of the tools do. And then there will be certain tools that we'll use right away. And then there are other tools that we will incorporate into some exercises. And so some tools I'll ask you not to use, and then other tools will deploy right away. And what's interesting about the toolbar is that you can just, by clicking this little tab up here, you can display it with the tools side by each or one long strip. And in the traditional Photoshop, the tools were stacked side by each because you have to think about the fact that this was like, the screen size was like 640 by 480 or 800 by 600. And now we have lots of room so we can spread that toolbar out. So we have our toolbar here, we have our canvas, and then we have our menu across the top. I'm going to go through each of the menus, talk about what each of the menus are for, and then we'll actually get around to doing some painting. So File. Under File, this is where I open, import, export images, and then I can do special things like create scripts and automation. So this is my open, save as, very important to be able to properly save your document. Next, we have edit, right? And so we have the ability to cut, copy, and paste, and do other things like fill and content aware, scale, puppet work, perspective work, free transform, etc. We're going to go through and understand how to do each one of those types of activities. Next, we have image, and under image, these are commands for controlling the canvas, the image size, rotating, and then I want to bring special attention to what are called the adjustments. And the adjustments allow me to adjust various elements of an image as far as the lightness, the darkness, the exposure, the color inside of the image. Next is layers, and the layers you'll see is a redundancy. So lots of times you'll be able to find the same element in more than one place. So I can use the layers from this menu here, or I can use the layers palette. Next is type. Once again, the type menu, I can find the ability to edit from type here, or I can grab the type tool and use a lot of the same edits from the type tool. Next is the ability to select images. And a big part of Photoshop is understanding how to make selections. And the idea is that if I want to apply and edit to the whole image, then I don't need to make a selection or a mask. If I want to edit one part of the image and not another, then I will need to create either a selection or a mask. So filters are little applications that you can apply to your art that can make it look like it's watercolor. It can make it look like it's blurred. It can make it look sharp. It make it look rendered. I can do all these different things with that menu. Now we also have a 3D palette, and what's unfortunate about this is that they have deprecated a lot of the 3D capabilities in Photoshop. So for a while, Photoshop had a complete 3D application built into its interface, and they've kind of backed off on using that. Next is view. So I can zoom in and out. Excuse me. I can adjust various elements in some of my documents. I can create guides and rulers and layers. I have a plugins panel where I can manage additional elements. This can be part of Photoshop. Excuse me. And I have my window. Let's stop there. We'll come back for the next recording.